Welcome to the Rethink Leadership podcast with me, Jeremy Blaine. I interview leaders, experts and business professionals from around the world who are bringing leadership principles and know-how into the digitally driven 21st century workplace, with focus firmly on the how-to rather than the what. Each episode is in aid of a charity chosen by my guests, and since 2020, we've made donations to over 80 global and local causes. My guest for today's Rethink Leadership podcast is Len Ward, a former Wall Street VP on the institutional equity trading desk, transitioned from the high-stakes world of finance to become a digital marketing expert, and now leads the AI revolution as Managing Partner of Commexis, an AI consulting and product development firm. With a rare blend of financial insight, entrepreneurial experience and AI expertise, Len brings practical, forward-thinking guidance to today's business leaders. We discuss the pace of change in AI evolution leaders everywhere are faced with. This is leading to shortcuts, misfired investments, and a greater risk of leadership failure for many, while those who have built their capability and have leaned into the challenge accelerate. Len shares best practices, watch-outs, and advice for leaders everywhere to ensure the progress can be made in the right way, driving the right decisions, and ultimately implementing AI to enable customer value, employee engagement, efficiency and growth. This episode is in aid of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation as a thank you to Len for joining us. Hello, Len. Thank you very much for joining me. Please introduce yourself, your expertise as a leading light in the AI revolution.
Great. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. My name is Len Ward. I am the Managing Partner of Commexis. Our tagline is AI that works. What we do is we help companies transition from the search and retrieve world in marketing, sales, and customer service to the solve my problem world, which is where AI lives. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, thank you very much indeed. I like the tagline AI that works because I think so many are falling into the trap, aren't they, of just sort of using it round the edges and probably using it wrong, even in business, right?
Yeah. I think too many people are still using it to write emails, maybe ask questions about work and so forth. But they're not really using it to structure data, build data up, and really train a GPT or a Gem and Gemini to really understand what they're trying to do and to help them daily. So yeah, it's definitely still fringe right now. At least 85% of people, I think, are still using it fringe.
Yeah, for me, working with a lot of leaders like you do as well, I see so many are struggling with the pace of change in their own capability building in this area too. Is that true from your experience? And what can be done about it to kind of avoid leadership failures moving forward in the age of AI?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem leaders right now are dealing with is, especially leaders who may fall in our age, is we were raised where we saw the internet back in the late 90s, and the runway was about 25 years to become digital. And I tell people, you don't realize how many companies actually it took COVID to get them truly to buy into the digital world. The issue you're facing right now is that the runway is not going to be 25 years. You got maybe 18 months if you're lucky. And that's evaporating. It's here now. But the biggest piece of advice I give leaders is every day when you're done on your GPT, ask it a question. Say, what did we do today? What did we learn today? What did I not learn today? And make sure you have that and understand it when it comes back to you and tells you this is what we did, this is what you learned, what you didn't know, and what you can do tomorrow. Start copying and pasting that over to a Google Doc, Word doc, and start saving that. At the end of each week, start reading that. Because I know you can do a ton, listen to podcasts, which is what we're doing. You can read a bunch of stuff, and I recommend doing all of that. But there's nothing more important than stacking your knowledge on AI. So if you do that, this little journal on a weekly basis, daily to weekly basis, you're going to find yourself not really falling behind. And if there is something you're not aware of, because of what you've taught yourself, you're going to be able to learn pretty quickly because of how you're stacking your knowledge in AI. So that's a critical skill to start developing.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You talk about COVID being the accelerator, like I think the biggest accelerator for digital transformation since the iPhone, in fact. And now we've stopped talking about digital. Now it's AI transformation, and that speed, that runway that we've got is ever shrinking, as you say. And because you work in this space with organizations everywhere, I got a question, sort of like almost like a poll question for you. out of the leaders that work with you, how many are just kind of bolting AI onto old processes to do things faster, cheaper, better, all of that kind of stuff, versus how many are actually redesigning workflows to be more AI native from the ground up? And if you've got any examples, that'd be great.
I think, I still think it's 80% of the people I'm working with are still trying to figure out AI. I think the other 20% are now trying to implement what we have been talking to them about, and I give them credit because they are trying to implement it. So that is kind of where they are. But you're right. I'm real big on, and I have not invented this. There's other podcasts I listen to and leaders that talk about this stuff all the time. But AI is going to be the operating system of your life. It really is. And I think some of the business leaders are beginning to understand that. Like when I tell some of my customers, this goes beyond just doing an email or putting in some data and having it build spreadsheets for you. This moves to a point where let's take a look at your CRM. So if you're looking at Salesforce, HubSpot, they're great products. I'm not here to knock it. But if anybody doesn't think that they're an existential looming on them, you're not paying attention. Because the problem is that you're going to start taking those types of software products and you're going to start building those products around your company data, where right now, Salesforce, HubSpot, things along those lines, you have to build your company data around them. So when you start thinking about that, you're like, then it starts registering them. And that's where I tell them, like, it's the operating system of your life. It's a very, very different way to look at things. So don't just look at it as, can I speed something up? Go identify every bottleneck you have in the company and say, what can AI break? Because that is one of the hallmarks of AI. It identifies bottlenecks and it breaks them. And that's where your processes start moving along.
There's an obvious, with the pace of change, with this kind of unknown that a lot of leaders and organizations are playing with, and those that are actually taking some of your advice, the elephant in the room is cyber risk. How much is that kind of becoming a real threat or being tackled in the right way by some of the organizations that you're dealing with?
I actually have a client that I think they're paying attention very closely with the cyber risk, and I am firmly in the camp of what you just said. I don't know what the risks are. I do think there is a genuine risk if you're going to just put your company in ChatGPT, your company's data, and just let it go. Now, what people don't realize is that you can go in the back end of ChatGPT and actually toggle off train on my material. Critical for you to do that. If you are in ChatGPT, go to settings and make sure it's not training on your data. Number two, I would not put your company data within ChatGPT. I would do mock data. So for whatever product you sell, call it product one, product two, and it may take you a little bit of time, but I just don't feel overly comfortable having all of your company's data in a ChatGPT because I don't quite know what that cyber threat is yet. And I think a lot of us are trying to figure it out, but it's funny because I actually see the role of IT in your company becoming extremely important as this thing starts scaling up. Now, if you do have a problem with AI or security and you're concerned about that, that is where you probably should start looking at products like Soft or Snowflake and things along those lines to start building your stuff off in a really secure environment. That would be my recommendation. But yes, before you implement a full AI strategy, you do need to start thinking about the security risks. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, if cyber risk is going to cost this world $10 trillion over the next 18 months, then it's the third biggest economy in the world. It's a real threat, right? And so you either turn that into an opportunity or a threat. And then there is another side, of course, to AI, which is kind of our human capital. So as we automate workflow tools, marketing engines, you name it, whatever we can do, but also as we service our customers better through AI as well. From your experience, what's the unique human value that leaders can lead into on top of that AI perhaps can't yet replicate, and why is it important to do so?
So there's two things. One, I'll just touch on quickly, which is tactile. I think if you're working with your hands, think of yourself as like a barber, a hairdresser, a nurse, even a bartender, something along those lines where you're grabbing something and handing it to an individual. Like I do think a lot of construction type work. I know that they're telling us the robotics and things. I get that. But I think I'm more concerned about that in maybe the factory environment and so forth. I am not concerned about a robot coming out and giving me a pint of Guinness. I'm not really worried about that right now. So I think they're okay. But if you kind of want to start thinking about the human capital, overall picture, and I know there's a really big doom and gloom picture that's painted. I don't disagree with it, but people who are involved with AI, everyone comes back to a man and says the exact same thing. We all say it. I do more work now with AI than I ever did without AI. Meaning, it's so labor intensive building this stuff out that if you're so concerned about you're losing your job, I don't know if you're doing AI right. Because we like to call it AI pilots, and somebody may be calling that as well. But it's like you have to pilot these things. You have to pilot a GPT. You have to pilot your AI stack, and without that human piloting it, AI is not at the capability where it can start running all of these things. Now, we'll be able to handle tasks, legal tasks, accounting tasks, marketing tasks. There's no question. But you still have to have ultimately an individual flying that product to its ultimate goal. And I think that is where the line's going to be drawn on AI. It's how long are we going to let the humans be the pilots? And in my opinion, if you go look at the course of human history, that's going to be forever. I do not think humans are going to allow this to just completely take over, because humans inherently don't trust anything. They barely even trust humans, let alone trust something else. So I feel like there's going to be a hard stop. Yes, there'll be job loss. Yes, there's going to be some blood on the streets, but I think it's going to be in a different capacity than people think.
Well, it reminds me of the adage that AI isn't going to take your job. It's the person that's expert in AI that's flying it, which is going to take your job, right?
Yeah,
it's those
I agree.
pilots, the AI pilots. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think from what you said before as well, I think you're right. I think we needn't worry about robots kind of coming to get us all just yet. And I think
Yeah.
with the human suspicion, and so much chat about this at the moment, so much false news out there that is being generated in the name of AI as much as anything else as well. I think the a lot of people are now kind of naturally taking a step back and really trying to think about this. Hopefully that means, Len, that they'll take some of your advice around the risk, around really learning it and becoming a great pilot. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And here's why I actually think, to kind of answer that and capitalize on what I said before. I don't think the job loss is going to come from people losing their jobs over AI. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have people who are building small companies, nimble companies, 2 to 3 people, and they're going to be able to take on companies with 5 or 6 thousand people. And the companies of 5 or 6 thousand people are not going to be able to compete with these 2, 3, 4, 5 person shops because of AI. That's where the job loss is going to come. Not because AI took you out. It's because somebody learned how to pilot AI, knock down the big guy, and you're going to start seeing the dawn of micro businesses, I think, all over the place that are really, really going to challenge the structure of large companies. And I think it's critical right now, yes, number one, to learn AI because it is going to help you with your job. But number two, maybe you're going to be a part of that revolution. Maybe you're going to be one that owns that business. Maybe you're going to be the person, I never thought I could own my own business. Well, guess what? We're moving into a time now where you're going to have the best opportunity ever to own a business at a more affordable spot, so long as you understand, if you have an industry, you understand the processes and you understand how to lay AI over it. And it might take a little bit of time to learn, but if you can do that, you're absolutely going to be invaluable.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there. And if we do that correctly, let's look at that other side now, those benefits that come out of it. So let's say that we're an organization or we're a leader or an entrepreneur that works with secure, accurate AI powered insights that bridges the gap between the internal and the customer. So we're providing even better customer services and experiences, but we're also managing it internally in the right way. And therefore we're impacting our bottom line performance as well. How, in your experience, are the best organizations doing that? And who would you kind of flag as take a look at these organizations? They're really killing in this at the moment.
You mean the ones that are killing it with AI in the moment right now?
Yeah, in terms of doing it right and getting the benefits from it.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. If you need to look no further than ChatGPT. I mean, look at what they've completely revolutionized the world. But are you talking about actual companies out there that look at these companies and look at what they're doing with AI and look at the transformation they're making? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, it's how the best organizations out there and leaders actually use AI in the right way, but benefit from it too.
So I think the companies that have understood how to build out their entire data warehouse, data, if you want to call it a data room, data lake, people call it a million different terms. We're just going to call it a data warehouse. So the ones that have built out the data warehouse and understand how to have a GPT laid on top of it to have that conversation with their data. I'm talking they actually digitized every single interaction with a customer, every single maybe type of strategy they've run, marketing strategy, sales strategy, blueprints, how they're building products and so forth. The ones that are taking that data, creating like an AI chatbot that their sales team, their customer service is actually interacting with, and it's giving information back immediately. They're the ones where maybe it took maybe 30 days to get a spec to a customer or a day to get an answer to a customer. When you layer this down and you have all of your information and you're asking questions, answering questions immediately, they're the ones that are really benefiting right now. But I'll be honest with you, in the AI world, I think we're all at a stage right now where I don't think you can single out like a company or two that's really doing it right now. They're saying, okay, they're doing a great job of it. I think we're all trying to figure it out, but it's these little pieces that are beginning to emerge. And I think that's what's happening. And I think that's what's going well. So, when you go to a chatbot on a website, and we've all seen them before, and they're very frustrating because they're either trying to get your lead, they can't answer anything. But on occasion, 1 in 25 websites you drop on, you're like, wow, that's an AI chatbot, and it's giving me every single answer I want. Those are the companies that are starting to merge. So start thinking of things like travel agents or travel companies like Expedia. They're working well. Companies like Lovable or Replit, where you can interact and vibe code a product, and you're seeing how fast things are going. They're the ones that are really capitalizing on the AI world and advancing forward. And they're actually a direct, you're going to benefit just by using that in the AI world. But I know it's kind of a broad answer for you, but I kind of think that's where we are with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're all trying to figure it out. And what I see is we're making small pockets of progress. It doesn't feel like a holistic strategy or kind of execution as yet. It feels like that we're making kind of movement in small areas and kind of building from that. Is that your experience too?
Yeah, I think that's where we are. I think anybody that's telling you that they have a full AI plan and this is where they're going to be in 2029, well, you're not paying attention because there's a new model dropped every single minute of the day. So, which is literally threatening. There's so many AI companies out there right now that are coming out and, they're telling you they do this, do that. But if ChatGPT or Gemini or Anthropic make one update, it upends their entire company. So you made a great point. It's incremental progress. Let's map out the next 30 days. Let's map out 2026. But mapping out anything beyond 2026 in AI, I think, is fool's gold. I don't think you're going to get anywhere.
I agree. And I'm going to put you on the spot now, Len, as well, because you're right. It's these incremental steps, the right small actions. I think for those tuning into this podcast who are saying, right, we may be behind, we may be on track, but kind of what are the things that we can do differently to sort of start to accelerate progress? What would be your 3 pieces of advice for those leaders tuning in to actually kind of get on top of their learning around AI and their doing and implementing so that they can make a measurable impact on customers, their business, their people?
So here are the 3 things I would do. First and foremost, the most important thing and the absolute number one thing you have to do in 2026 is you have to organize your data, get everything organized. If you can't unlock your data from your CRM or whatever type of product you're using, find a company that can get that data out of there. There are AI companies out there. They're starting to emerge. They can unlock hidden data because it's one of the things I hear from companies all the time. We can't get to our data. We're using an antiquated system. There is no download button. There are people who can do that. Get all of that data. Anything even you have in files. You'd be surprised how many companies don't have a lot of stuff digitized, maybe from like a couple of years ago. Oh, we used to handwrite our stuff out. You'd be surprised how many companies are still out there doing that. Digitize everything you have. Go to a company, get everything digitized. Identify a person or two in the company that can then start organizing it. All right, here's all of our customer service SOPs. Here's all of our, product SOPs. Every single thing, get it organized. You can make it as easy as in a Dropbox, Google Drive. You can make it very, very simple like that, or even a Microsoft product, but get it all organized. So that's step 1. Step 2, get an AI chatbot on your website. There's multiple platforms you can use. It's something we do as well. We can build it for you. There's a lot of other companies that do it. Get the chatbot on the website, learn how to train it. And at the bare minimum, just get it on the website and let it be the voice of your website. on a weekly basis, have your team sit down, everybody on the team, sit down and go through the questions that the chatbot has actually received and came back to an answer with. I have never met one client where they were not floored at questions clients were asking, and they never in a million years thought that's what people were thinking. It's that little data that's probably kept companies from exponentially growing, because they're thinking one path and their customers are always down another path and they're not getting where they need to be. That little nugget is what's going to unlock breakthrough. And that's where you truly see the magic of AI. And you're like, whoa, I never realized that. And then how it interacts back, and your customer asking a follow-up question, and you get this conversation where a lot of times you look at it and you're like, we have a brand new product. We're going to build this product because this is what customers want. So that would be second. So one is a data room. Second is get an AI chatbot. And that chatbot, by the way, you can do internally as well. So if you have internal stuff, you can also lay that on top. You can always reach out to us. We can help you out, or another company. The last thing, learn how to build a custom GPT. Go to ChatGPT. On the upper left-hand side, it says GPTs. Pay for the $20 a month account, no matter what you do. You don't need the $200, just get the $20 a month account. Build a GPT. And everyone will say, well, I don't know how to do that. Go to GPT, say create on the right-hand side, and there's a talking box. It'll actually walk you through. I want to build a GPT. What do you want to build it on? I want to build it on becoming a better CEO, a better CFO. And it's going to start laying things all the way down for you. Don't expect it to be perfect, but now you have a GPT that you've created, which will help you. It will build itself with you. But now you have something every morning you can check in and start talking to and asking questions. And that's the foundation for starting to take notes. What do we learn? What do we not learn on a weekly basis? If you do those three things, I absolutely guarantee you will see financial ramifications for your business by the end of 2026. But start it now, because a lot of companies I'm hearing companies say AI is a 2027, AI is a 2028 initiative. My response to that is you're going to be out of business, or your business is going to be seriously threatened. And I don't think I say that lightly, because AI, if your customer knows or if your competitor knows what customers are asking, and it's something both of your businesses never thought about, now they're racing to the market with a brand new product to answer that question. It's something you got to start thinking long and hard about. If you're not thinking about AI, you need to now.
Great points there, Len. So just as a summary, those three key pieces of advice, which are brilliant: organize your data, get an AI chatbot up on your website, and create your own GPT. What great three actions for those tuning in. And I'm sure you've offered it as well. I'm sure many tuning in would want to kind of pick your brains, maybe get help from your organization, continue the discussion. How do they find out more and stay connected?
Yeah, you can go to Commexis.com and you can just fill out a contact form. It's always me who answers the questions, and I'm always more than happy to take a conversation, jump on a Zoom. And you can follow us on all the social media platforms. Our YouTube shorts are ones where when we're interviewed or we talk about AI, it's a really quick, easy way just to kind of digest the stuff we're talking about. But yeah, pretty easy to get a hold of, and we have no problem spending a couple of minutes of your time and just trying to figure out what you need.
Len, thank you very much for your inputs there. Thank you very much for sharing so openly as well. All remains for me to say, have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Rethink Leadership podcast with me, Jeremy Blaine. Please like, comment, and support us on your favourite platform, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can watch as well as listen to each episode.